Hello, live again. Welcome back. It's me, Katrinah. I'm here for day 236 of our journey through the Bible in a year. And today we are reading Jeremiah 32, 33, and Ezekiel 26, 1 through 14. So we're in prophets still. In a lot of the prophets we've been reading so far, it's been a lot of warnings to the people that they need to turn away from their wicked ways and fear God, right? Sometimes he's telling them what he will do to them in punishment. Sometimes he says, in the end, I will restore. But in today's passage, we're really getting a little more information on what that looks like, that restoration. So I just want to read Jeremiah 33, verses 14 through 16, when God says through Jeremiah, "Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will fulfill the promise I made to the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. In those days and at that time, I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David, and he shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will dwell securely. And this is the name by which it will be called. The Lord is our righteousness." Okay. What is he saying? He's promising Jesus. In very simple terms, this is one of the points in the Bible where God says, here's what I will do. And he's speaking of the lamb that is to come. In this case, the branch that is to come. In Hebrew, the term used that is translated as branch is tzemach, which is literally sprout, growth, or shoot. Okay? And looking at it in that way, branch on a tree. The actual, literal meaning of the word used is sprout or growth or shoot, which is very vivid if you think of it like that. It's something living that grows out of something seemingly dead or something that's been cut down. It's a sprout, a shoot. And this image is used several times in prophetic scripture. And every time it's used, it is expressing this idea of renewal and restoration coming from David's royal line. And when he says, I'll make a branch out of David, he's not referring to King David himself, but what's called his dynastic line. So the line of people who come after him. As I was doing my research, there's a couple of things that really came up. And something I loved that I read was, by calling this figure the branch of David, Jeremiah is declaring that God's covenant promises are not dead, even if the kingdom seems cut off. A new righteous ruler will arise from David's line to restore justice and peace. It says, he shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. This is very classic covenant language for the ideal king. The branch will embody what previous kings have failed to do in the history of Israel. There's restoration for the people of Israel, both literal restoration and spiritual restoration. And so when we read this, we can see God telling his people about the Messiah. This is a promise. The Israelites, to hear this, would know hope is coming. Hope is coming. And even to this day, this is scripture that the Jewish people still read. And they read that as the promise of God to send the Messiah to this day. The title that was given, where it says the Lord is our righteousness, is what he shall be called. This is like a parallel to what Paul teaches in 1 Corinthians 1:30 and 2 Corinthians 5, that Christ becomes our righteousness. So as we read this in Jeremiah 33, we're hearing the announcement of the coming of the righteous king whose rule is eternal. So it's cool to see kind of like some of the beginnings of that promise. One of the little seeds that are planted, and to read that and to know what is coming and what has come is pretty cool. So I hope everyone has a lovely week, and I'll see you Friday. Bye.